beauty blowouts and backstabbing. Hi, if you're new around here, my name is Bailey Lavender. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you are not, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be aware of future videos that go live on here. We talk about all the horrible things that happen in the salon industry because I've been doing skits for years now, talking about the horrible things that happen within the salon industry that has happened to me, my friends, or people that send in different skit ideas that have happened to them. A lot of people don't think this stuff is true. So I asked people on my Instagram, hey, send me your horrible salon experiences. And people sent in experiences, and now we're gonna talk about them together. Now, because I'm ADHD, I like to do a little makeup while we're getting ready together. If you are not aware and you're new around here, I like to do makeup looks that I've not done before and do them while we're getting ready together to challenge myself, for us to have a little bit more fun and do something different. So I'm not doing the same makeup every single time you sit here and watch me. So today I am doing my friend Marky's makeup, or she's technically doing mine, because Marky recently posted a video of how she does her makeup and the simplicity behind it that a lot of people think that it's very in-depth. I adore how she does her makeup. It's actually very, very simple. She does an in-depth video about it if you want to go check out her social media account. Her name is Mirrored by Marky on all of her social media platforms. So, women are probably like, get the story started, Bailey. Anytime I make a skit about children having bodily autonomy within their hair, a lot of people lose their mind and a lot of people disagree with that thought process. So we're going to talk about that today. That is what this story is on. So let's get started. When you start in this industry, there's a lot of situations that you're not prepared for, that they don't teach you how to handle in hair school. And that's why a lot of times people start off in commission-based salons or as an assistant or shadow work so that they can hear how you communicate with certain clients, see how different situations are handled, and learn a little bit more than what you would kind of experiencing yourself. And sometimes you don't handle things the best way. Now, mind you, I don't think that this story is wrong. I think this person handled it how they should. Let's be very clear about that. If I am getting a service done to me and you are my stylist and I said, I want to go purple, right? Your first thought is not who's paying for your service. Your first thought is, okay, how do we get you there? Do you have previous color? All the different questions that you are prepared to take on to make that client happy, right? What you're not prepared for is when someone else is paying for the service and you don't know that ahead of time. And even if someone is paying and you are aware ahead of time, you still don't know exactly, are they okay with this? Do I still do it? There's a lot of questions, right? So this particular stylist that sent in this email is, at the time, a junior stylist in a salon, meaning that they were taking a lot of walk-in clients where a lot of people were not scheduling ahead. So kind of when you're having a walk-in client, you're kind of fast-paced, right? You don't have time to prep a lot of times. You don't have time, you have your 10 to 15 minute consultation and then they're out the door. You don't sometimes get to know them very well. It's just very boom, 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 done. Service done. Sometimes you get to keep those clients. Sometimes they keep going and you never see them again. There's a whole bunch of situations within it. And I'll tell you my own story within this later in this episode. By the way, pause. If you have a crazy story, make sure you send it in to thebaileylavenderhair@gmail.com because I want all y'all's crazy stories. Let's get back to it. This stylist, she has a new client come in that is a walk-in client. She's never met her before. She has no idea what she's doing. The front desk greets her. She comes back, or the front desk comes back and tells the stylist, hey, you have a walk-in. It's a haircut. And the stylist is like, woo, because you're excited to get a butt in your chair because that means you're getting paid. You're excited. So the stylist is excited. She goes up front, but as her and the front desk receptionist are walking up to the front desk is like, hey, just FYI, she's got a lot of hair. And so the stylist is like, that's okay, because a lot of times we are taught how to make sure that you're able to work with many different kind of hair types so that when there is someone with very little hair, you're prepared for it, as well as a lot of hair, you're prepared for it as well. In the salon or in the hair school, they kind of teach you that, and you're working with different kind of mannequins or different kind of hair types when you're in school, so it's typically not a big deal. So she goes up front, she gets the client, and when her and the client are walking to her chair, they're kind of chit-chatting, right? You're kind of just starting to get to know your client in that process, and you're asking her hey, so where are you from? What are you here doing? It's kind of just small talk, right? And that is kind of getting to know, and a lot of people are not aware When you are asking these questions, I personally, and I've heard other stylists say this too, you're kind of judging what you're doing, like, by this stuff, right? So if I find out that a client is a new mom, right, and she's wanting to cut her hair off, she's wanting to go super high maintenance, that is going to help me decide how to handle the situation, right? So like if someone's wanting something high maintenance and they're not going to have the time for something high maintenance, then I can tell them what this is going to look like and I can prep them for that kind of situation, etc. Right? So she's walking back with her client and they're talking about all the things that are going on in life, and this client is home from college and she's super excited to just be home for a little bit. And then she sits down in the chair and she has super long hair. I believe the stylist who sent in the video said that this client's hair was almost down to her waist. So like, I mean, she's got some length, right? And so this stylist was like, oh, this is so pretty. And she's like, I want a chop. And normally when a client says, I want a chop, I want a dramatic chop that have super long hair, you're thinking chest length. Because I mean, that's, on certain people, that's every bit of 5 inches. And this client was like, no, I want it to my shoulders. And so as a stylist, that is semi-scary, but also kind of like exciting, right? Because you get to create this new shape on this client. You get to create like new fun textures for them. You're starting fresh, okay? And sometimes it can be really exciting. Sometimes it can be absolutely terrifying. Because you're like, okay, so either this client's gonna love this, because going for something dramatic when a client is used to something else, it can be super scary because you're like, you're gonna like this. I hope you like this because I'm gonna work really hard, especially when you're new. Anyways, so this client comes in, sits down. Mind you, she's in college from what we understand. She drove herself to this appointment. She walked in to ask for her haircut and she sat down, and she is the one talking to the stylist, okay? So we're guesstimating that she's at least close to 18, over 18. We don't know, okay? And so the stylist gets to work and she talks to her. She's like, are you sure you want this big of a cut? I absolutely will do it as long as this is for sure something that you want. And for big chops like that, you typically, well, not everybody, I personally go slow, right? I want you to show me where you want me to cut it. And then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to do right there exactly where you point to. And I want the client to take their hair. I don't want them just to tell me to their shoulders, because some people view this whole thing as their shoulder. This entire thing. So when they say shoulder length, some people have pointed here. Some people have pointed here. Some people would have right at their shoulder. It is very determined by who is telling me what and like what they have seen. Okay. And just because someone shows me a picture, I want them to show me on their body with their shoulders relaxed, because some people get excited and they bring their shoulders up. And so you cut it here, and then that's a huge difference, right? And so she takes her time. She makes sure she gives her this beautiful cut. She shows her how to style it, which is a big thing. It's a very big thing. If you are a stylist yourself and you're watching this and you don't teach your clients how to style their new hair, that is a shame on you. I'm a firm believer that you need to teach your people how to do different things with their hair. A lot of my clients will bring their own tools so that I can show them how to do stuff with their own tools on their own hair. And that's also when I a lot of times get to decide if I like their tools or if we're going to be talking about them possibly getting a new tool sometime soon. Just because I don't like sometimes their tools because it doesn't show me the heat temperature on there. Anyways, I'm rambling. She does this and she shows her how to style it. She leaves beautifully. She gets her pictures. She's at the front desk checking out. She tips her. She's grinning ear from ear. When she walks up to the front, the receptionist goes, oh, you cut so much off. And she's so excited that she did. She's grinning huge. Like, she's like, yeah, I did. I love it. Da, 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 right? And the receptionist can confirm all of this, right? And so they go on with their day. And she's staring at this girl's pictures. And she's telling all of her coworkers how excited she was that she did such a big transformation. Because you do that. It is very similar to when you are at a job, right? And you do something new for the first time and you know that everybody else there has probably already done it because they've been there for a while, but you're excited that you finally know how to do it. So you are telling everybody and you're showing everybody the work that you did. It is a very big thing. I got a hair. I got a brush here and it's tickling me. So, a few hours later, the mother of the client comes in, and she is livid. She is screaming at the receptionist, and the stylist is in the back working on another client. She has moved on to another client. It's been a few hours later, and the receptionist, the stylist can hear something's going on at the front, but she can't see it. And so the receptionist comes back and she's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And she's like, "I need you to come up front." And she's like, "Okay, is everything okay?" And she's like, "I need you to come up front." "What's going on?" So she tells her client, "Hey, I'll be back in just a minute. I'm so sorry," and steps away. Now, mind you, stepping away from a client mid-service, it's semi-embarrassing because I personally charge per hour, right? So if I'm, and a lot of people don't like that because I see it as if I'm working on a client and I do full foil and it takes me an hour, I don't see it right to charge that same client something that I would charge somebody it takes me 4 hours to do their service. So I charge by the hour. And that also allows clients to figure out like how they want to do their service, if they want to blow out or not, whatever. I'm rambling again. But that's how I price myself. So she's stepping away from her client to go deal with whatever's going on at the front. So she goes up front and the mother is up there of the client that she had worked on earlier in the day. And you can tell that she's irate. The daughter, who she had just given the haircut to, is standing beside her and tears are just flowing down her face. She is so upset. And she's asking the stylist, "Are you the one that did this to my daughter? Are you the one who," like, imagine this, "Are you the one who did this to my daughter?" Right? Like, you're like, whoa, what's happening here? She is losing her marbles, okay? And so the stylist is like, "Yes, is everything okay?" And she's like, "No, I cannot believe you did this." And she was so upset. She's like, "Why would you do this to my daughter?" Da 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 da, right? And she is so confused because just a few hours ago, this client was up here grinning ear from ear. She has photos of her grinning ear from ear. She told the receptionist that she was so excited about her hair. Like, the stylist is very confused of like, okay, is the mother just not happy with the service that I provided, that I chopped the daughter's hair off? Maybe she was not aware that I was chopping her daughter's hair off. 2, was the client unhappy with her service and she was scared to tell me? Like, and the stylist said that she slowly was bringing her haircut up to figure out exactly how short this client wanted it. And so she's like, "But I don't understand why she wouldn't be happy with it, because I started longer and then we took it to the shortest length that she wanted, just to ensure that she was comfortable with it, especially with me being new. I want to make sure I do it right." Completely understandable, right? So, and also dealing with a walk-in client, sometimes you don't really know what you're getting into. And mind you, remember, this is not something that was pre-booked. She was a walk-in. So this client or the stylist did not know how old she was. She did not know exactly, like, so I'll be honest with you. I have clients that I will be going through a hard time, right? A breakup, or something crazy, and they want something dramatic. And we sit down and we talk about it for a little bit. Or like, key indicator is they come in and we're like, "I want bangs." Hold on. We're talking about it. You've never wanted bangs before. We're going to have this discussion, because if you don't like them, then we're stuck with this. We are. Because then I feel guilty for months on end until you come back and we can fix them. Anyways, I'm rambling today. The manager of the salon comes up front and she is like, "What do you mean you cut her hair without her mother's consent?" Right? And she's like, she looks to be old enough, right? And I would love y'all's opinion on this, because like I said earlier, when I do skits on social media, and if you're not aware of any of my skits, I have them all posted on my shorts. So you're welcome to go over there and look at a ton of different skits. I have majority of them categorized. But the salon owner or the salon manager was so confused of why she would do this to this child. Why would you cut her hair this short without her mother's consent? Da, 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 da. She refunded the client's money. We're not sure if it came out of the younger or the client's bank account, like if she works and she paid for it herself, or if she paid with her mother's card, or if her mother gave her money to do something else with it, or her mother told her, "Hey, only trim off a little bit. I'm giving you money to go get a trim because your ends look nasty," and she took advantage of that because she wanted to have a big chop, but her mama didn't want a big chop. What are Cheryl's thoughts on that? Do you think that whoever's paying for it should be able to completely choose what's happening to that client's head? Because it is a big controversial topic within the hair world, within parents, Facebook groups, with like a lot of things. People are very sideways. They get up in arms over figuring out who you should listen to. And as a stylist, you want the client in your chair to be the happiest person, but also you've got to get paid. You don't want to make a bad situation. Like, I've had husbands come in and they're irate because I did something with their wife's hair that they didn't like, but your wife asked for it, and he's like, but I paid for it. And I'm like, but you both worked, money just goes into the same bank account. Like, it gets very, very confusing of like, who do you not even listen to, but like, who determines what I'm doing? Like, that is a very complicated situation. And this is why a lot of salons, if your stylist is randomly giving you a contract of some sort or having you sign a liability waiver prior to doing different things with your hair, that is probably because this world is starting to get crazy and you never know what's going to happen or how people are going to react. It's honestly wild. Now, remember, the manager of this salon is on the side of the mother, okay? So the manager refunds the money to whoever the money came out of their bank account. The daughter who had the service done is sobbing, not saying anything, and then the mother is losing her marbles on the stylist who got the service done, right? Okay. Now, after the money is refunded, the mother leaves, the daughter leaves, and the manager looks at the stylist and was like, "You're coming with me," and they went to the back. At that point, the stylist is getting reprimanded by the manager for doing this client's service, and she is so confused because she's like, I did what the client wanted me to do. And still to this day, that stylist has no idea if the mother disliked her service, if the daughter disliked her service, what exactly happened, the stylist still does not know. Which reminds me, and I told y'all earlier in the episode that we were going to talk a little bit about my own experience within this. So this reminds me when I first started in the industry, right? When I left, if you're unaware, you need to go watch Salon from Hell, the whole series that I have on my YouTube. It tells the first salon experience where I was working at a salon and had a horrible salon experience. I was treated like shit. And it's in depth of that. Okay, so after I left there, I went to another salon that I was booth renting at. That means I paid money and I got my work spot and I could do exactly what I wanted. But it also meant that I didn't get promised I was gonna get paid, right? And so I, like this stylist, was taking walk-ins and taking anybody that would sit in my chair. So this father walks in with his daughter and he says, "Hey, we need to get her a haircut." And I was like, "Hey, I have plenty of time. I don't have anything booked or scheduled till later today. Come on, have a seat." And the little girl was absolutely adorable. Her and her dad seemed to have a great relationship. And mind you, like how this situation happened earlier, you don't know how to handle some of these situations. I still don't know how I would handle this situation I'm about to tell you about. So, like I said, he said my daughter, okay? And she's a little girl. She was, from what I remember, she was in between 6 and 8, in that like age range in my head, okay, if I was to place an age. And she was sitting there, she was so excited, she was spending time with her dad, and he wanted to chop her hair off. And mind you, she had straight hair, and he wanted to learn how to curl her hair, so I was teaching him. He wanted to learn how to braid. And mind you, I had plenty of time to do all this because, like I said, I was not booked. I was still trying to grow my clientele. So, mind you, when this was going on, I felt really good about this service. He seemed super happy with her hair. She seemed super happy with her hair. He took after photos. I've always been really weird about posting other people's kids on my social media, other than my niece and nephew, because they like to be on here. If you ever see them, say hey. And so I was not going to post pictures of her, but I was absolutely okay with him taking photos. So he's taking photos of her. She's grinning ear to ear. And he then states, "Baby, what do you think your mommy will say?" Valid question. I'm not going to ask, where's your mom? Because some people don't have their mother in their life, or they don't have a mom. Like, there's a lot of situations that I, as a stylist, have learned to keep my mouth shut. That's none of my business. You're here with your dad. I'm so excited for you. You're gonna have a great time with Daddy Daughter Day, whatever that is. Whatever. And she turns and looks at him square in the eye, and she says, "Oh, mom's gonna be mad." My stomach dropped. I was like, hmm? She's like, "Yeah, mommy is not gonna be happy about this at all." And I was like, "Why not? Did she not know that you were coming to get your hair cut?" And she was like, "Oh no, something about the, like, I think they're separated from what I remember, and dad does not get a lot of time with his daughter." And she was like, "So mom's gonna be really mad that you did this, because the daughter explained to me that she's been asking to chop her hair off for a while, and her mom wouldn't let her. But she was sitting on it. It was getting caught when she was playing sports. But her mom liked her long hair, and so she was keeping it long because her mother wouldn't cut it, right? So her dad, when she got daddy-daughter time, took her to get her hair cut, okay? What do? Because then at that point, I'm terrified. Is this mother gonna be mad at me? Am I in trouble? Like, how do I handle this situation? And I was so nervous for weeks that mother was gonna come after me because I cut her hair, right? And thankfully, she never did. But I remember every time I would go into the salon, I would check the salon messages because I was always the first one there. I'd check the salon messages from the night before, and anytime the phone rang, I'd get nervous. And I was so scared. Oh my goodness, I was so scared that the daughter would be like, "We went to this salon and I got my hair cut by this lady," and da 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 da. Please don't get me involved, because if you guys did not agree to cut your daughter's hair, that is not on me. I did not. No, please don't get me involved. And so that is a terrifying experience to be a part of, because you're trying to make the child happy. You're also trying to make the parent happy who's paying for it. I want to know what y'all's thoughts are. If a client, which is under 18, comes in and wants to get their hair done, do you ask who's paying for this? Do you ask, did your parents consent to this? If they didn't drive them, because I have multiple clients that are under the age of 18 and their parents pay for it. But when they come in, I don't ask them, what did your mom or dad say? What did your parents say? Because that's never been a problem within these clients. The first couple times that these clients would come in to get their hair done, they would stay with them. And now those parents trust me because we have known each other for so long that they drop their kid off and then they leave, other than ones that can drive themselves. But I know that they're swiping their parents' card. Like, I've never had those clients struggle with that. Now, I have had clients where they come in and their child is sitting here while parents are standing here, and they're actively saying, "I want to chop all my hair off," or "I want to leave my hair long," or "I want to color my hair dark," or "I don't want to color my hair." And their parent is saying the opposite of, "Yes, you have to chop their hair off," or "Yes, you have to color their hair," or whatever it may be, right? And sometimes, like, a lot of times actually is the client who's sitting in my chair does not want a service of some sort. They're not wanting to go blonde. They're wanting to keep their natural, or they're wanting to keep their hair long so that they can throw it up. But the parent is mad that they're always throwing their hair up, and they're like, "But I'm not going to do anything to," like, there's a lot of situations that have happened like that I've done skits on, and people are beside themselves. People are beside themselves that I would not automatically take the parent's side because they're the one paying. But ultimately, I have refused service in general of, "Listen, I'm not going to do a service, period, if y'all cannot come to an agreement, because this is unfair to put me in this situation as the stylist to try to figure out who to choose, because I don't want either one of y'all to be unhappy, because I want the client that leaves my chair to know that they're safe, that I want them happy, and I want them to want to come back to me," okay? Even in later in life, if they grow up or they choose to do something else with their hair, I want them to feel comfortable here. And I also want the parent to feel comfortable sending their child here, or for them to come. I've had plenty of people that their child was the initial starter to come to me, and then they started coming to me as well. And so I'm very curious to know what y'all's thoughts are, because this is a very delicate situation. There are a lot of times where parents of course, get the final say with their child on many situations. But it's when it's your body. And maybe it's because I was raised this way. My parents let me have full control of my body. They still full control of my body. Of course not, because I'm 30 now. But like, they always were like, what you want to do with your body is your choice, right? And so when I was in middle school and I wanted to start getting blonde put in my hair because it was getting darker because of puberty, my mom was like, okay, I'll take you to go get it done properly. When I wanted to get my ears pierced for the second time, my mom was like, okay, I'll take you to somewhere reputable so that you're not getting it done at your friend's house and it's probably going to get infected and that's going to be unhealthy for you. Or when I decided that I wanted to go back dark, my mom was like, I don't think you're going to like that, but okay, we can go for it. And we went back dark. I ended up not liking it. And she's like, I'm sorry, baby, but like, I paid for this. So now you're stuck with it for a little while. And I was like, dang, you know? So ultimately, my parents allowed me to have my choice with my body. And not a lot of people's parents, now that I'm older, do that. A lot of people's parents choose for them. Now, no. Pause. When you are a child, toddler, those kind of things, and you like for your own health, well-being, safety, those are different situations. I'm talking about teenagers and up, right? And ultimately, like, even I say teenagers and up, my 8-year-old niece, when she comes to me and she says, I want some face framing layers, and I tell her, baby, this, if that's what you want, then these are the things you're gonna have to do with it. Her mama is like, she wants to do that, that's her choice. Because there's with bangs and stuff, you have extra care that you have to take care of. And so her mother allows her and her brother to have full bodily autonomy to be able to choose what they want to do, right? When my nephew, when he wanted to grow his hair out long, because he saw some guy's hair that was long and shaggy and he liked how he looked, she was like, okay, babe. And as soon as he no longer wanted it, she was like, all right, we'll chop it off. That's what you want. Like, with my son, I want him to have that. Right now, I'm getting to choose what he wants because he literally can't even say mama yet. So ultimately, I'm getting that choice until he can tell me otherwise. If that means, hey mama, I'm gonna put my finger in a light switch and electrocute myself, no, that's a different situation. But like cutting your hair off or whatever, that's very tricky. As a stylist, you struggle because you're wanting to make everyone happy. And there's a lot of situations like the story that I told you about myself where a little girl came in with her father. I don't know, did he have full guardianship or partial guardianship? Was he just out on a daddy-daughter date with his daughter and his daughter said, hey, I want to get my hair cut, and he said, okay. Are they separated? Are they divorced? Is it yucky? Is it a bad situation? Like, I don't know any of that, nor is it any of my business. But unfortunately, sometimes clients put us in those situations where you're concerned, am I held liable here? Because ultimately, the stylist from the first story about the girl who cut her hair short, she lost payment. She lost being able to pay whatever bill she was going to pay with that money that the client paid her because someone, we don't know who, was upset with how she cut her hair. We don't know if it was the client who got the service done and she just didn't want to tell the stylist, which happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Some people are not good with controversy and they don't want to tell people in the moment. Personally, every client that was unhappy with their hair, I knew immediately they didn't like their hair. And or they were happy with their hair and I knew they were happy with their hair, but they went home and someone at home made them start questioning it. Or they got home and someone at home expressed their dislike for it and they didn't want to make them unhappy. That is every single time someone is left unhappy from or comes back unhappy. I either knew it beforehand and I tried to talk to them about it and they were arguing no, or someone at home was unhappy with it. How do you handle that kind of situation? If you're a stylist, I would love to know how you handle these situations. If you are not afraid to ask, hey, are you divorced from your ex-wife? Is she here? Are you married? Where is the other parent of this child? Are you an only parent? Like, do you ask those questions? Because I personally, I don't think I ever could because I'm a firm believer that's not my business. But like, how do you as a stylist handle that? And as a client, if you have kids, if you, or all of us have had parents or guardians or someone take care of us, how did you feel when your parent chose different situations for you? Chose what you were gonna wear, chose if you were gonna wear makeup, chose if you got to cut your hair or change your hair color, chose if you got toenail polish or no toenail polish. Like, I really want to know your experience within that. I am so thankful that y'all were here today. I apologize if this was a shorter video, but I appreciate you watching it in general. I love every single one of you so very, very much. I'm excited that these beauty blowouts and backstabbing videos continue to grow because I am really enjoying making them, and the emails that I'm getting at thebaileylavenderhair@gmail.com are crazy. I love the drama, the tea, the different things that go on in the salon industry in general, because people are nuts. In the service industry, people are nuts, and they think that they can treat service providers just any type of way. And I've said from the get-go, if you're a bad boss, if you're a bad client, if you're a bad coworker, I'm calling you out. Okay? End of story. I appreciate every single one of y'all for sticking around. I love you. Thank you for being here for beauty, blowout, and backstabbing. Make sure you subscribe if you've not done so already. I love you, and bye, y'all.